Ardra Nakshatra is a storm that purifies the soul. The nature of Ketu is to let go. A Ketuish person will never react to a negative comment. He will simply block the person, and before he blocks the person, he will simply press two buttons, shift, delete, and the matter is over for him. For him, you are as good as dead. So, a Ketuish person is not at all interested in reacting. He understands that by reacting, you fall into a vicious circle. But when it comes to Rahu, then the nature is completely different. Rahu fights, Rahu reacts, Rahu argues, Rahu gives tit for tat. And that is precisely the nature of Ardra, the very first nakshatra of Rahu that falls in Gemini sign. Ardra falls in the sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury. And Mercury, in a way, is the boss of Rahu. Mercury represents intellect, logic, analysis, and communication. And Rahu represents desire, ambition, and worldly hunger. When these two energies combine, you get a nakshatra that is extremely intellectual, restless, curious, and argumentative. If Moon in Ardra receives strong support from other planets in the chart, the native can excel in professions that require debate, argument, research, and investigation. Media is a good field for Ardra natives. Technology is another powerful field because Ardra is not only passionate, it is highly intellectual. Interestingly, Ardra falls in Gemini, and Gemini is exactly opposite. In Sagittarius, you will find Moola. So, Moola belongs to Ketu, and its nature is simply to cut. Much has to be cut so that only the essential remains. That is the nature of Ketu. But Ardra is different. Ardra cannot simply cut and move away. Ardra wants to fight. Ardra wants to argue. Ardra wants to prove. And existence always maintains balance through Rahu and Ketu. In this podcast, I have shared many insights and stories while discussing the powerful nakshatra Ardra. Ardra is also known as the nakshatra of tears, and tears are beautiful. Once, when I was traveling through the Sahyadri mountains, I met a great yogi, and he said, when your teardrops are cold, you are crying out of joy, and when your teardrops are warm, you are crying out of pain. And this is so true. Ardra means wetness. This wetness is caused by tears. And when do tears flow? Only when your joy becomes too overwhelming to express, or when your pain becomes too deep to express. Ardra therefore is a nakshatra that takes you through melodrama. You may cry out of joy, you may cry out of pain, but one thing is certain, life is never boring when it comes to Ardra. A woman born in Ardra is like a wild storm. You cannot dominate her. In fact, many Ardra women have been at the forefront of woman empowerment movements. If you are planning to marry a woman born in Ardra, then understand one thing clearly. She requires space, she requires freedom, she requires the right to build her own career and identity. Even if she chooses to remain a housewife, she will still play a major role in family decisions. And now, what about a man born in Ardra? A man born in Ardra is highly intellectual, excellent in communication, curious about everything. He likes adventure, he likes stimulation. Ardra natives do not enjoy stagnant lives. They want movement, conversation, stimulation, and change. Relationships often begin through communication. It is said many relationships begin over a cup of coffee. You talk, you laugh, you connect, and suddenly you feel that this person is perfect. But later you realize that the observation was wrong. Other natives often experience such dynamics in relationships. Sometimes they become victims in relationships. Sometimes their partner becomes the victim. It all depends on the chart. Ardra brings spice, drama, and intensity. Ardra natives are very social, restless, and always moving. Ardra natives cannot remain at one place for long. They need movement. Travel comes naturally to them. They enjoy meeting new people, experiencing new cultures, learning new ideas. They are extremely social beings. Interestingly, they also possess an excellent memory of people. You may forget who your uncle's cousin's sister is, but an Ardra native will always remember. They are like a walking directory of contacts. They remember birthdays, they remember faces, they remember stories, and because of this social intelligence, they build large networks. Moon in Ardra makes the native extremely intense in relationships. When they fall in love, they fall deeply. But intensity can also create possessiveness. And the moment possessiveness enters love, love begins to disappear. Remember, if you love a flower, do not pluck it. If you pluck it, it dies. Love is appreciation. Love is freedom. Love is not possession. But Ardra sometimes struggles with this because Rahu energy wants to own, control, and dominate. Ardra natives are highly intellectual. Their mind dominates their heart, and that becomes the root of their suffering. Always remember, intellectualism can become the cause of misery. Intelligence is beautiful, but excessive intellectualization creates conflict. Once it happened, three men were brought before the judge, and the first man said, "It is not my fault. I was walking and this guy," and the judge stopped him and said, "Many times you have been in the court, and I don't want to waste my time. You are fined $400. Next case, please." The next case was of the second man. Looking at him, the judge said, "You again?" $800 fine to him. Next case, please. The next case was of the third man, and he quickly stood up and said, "I am guilty of stealing food, but my children were starving to death. I had no other option, although I accept my mistake." The judge said, "I liked your honesty, and because of it, I am giving you a break. Give this man $100 from police fund." Case dismissed. The next case was of a criminal. But look what he says. He stands up and says to the judge, "Sir, I am not going to lie to you. My children were also starving, and so I had to loot a bank." You see how the mind plays games? The criminal tried to imitate honesty, and this is the nature of the mind. And when moon is in Ardra, this mind becomes even more clever and cunning. There is yet another story that I remember. There was a blind man, and he had to come to meet his old friend, a wise man. The wise man said to the blind man, "It is getting dark, and so I would like you to carry this lamp with you so that you reach your home safely." The blind man laughed and said, "I am a blind man. What difference it makes if there is a lamp with me or not? To me, day or night, it is the same. Remember, I cannot see. I am blind." The wise man said, "You cannot see, but when you carry this lamp, other people will be able to see you and they will not bump into you in the dark. So take the lamp. The blind man accepted the lamp and set on his way back home. He had hardly walked a few hundred steps when someone bumped into him. The blind man said, "Can't you see there is a lamp in my hand?" The man replied, "I am not blind, but the lamp in your hand has gone out." This is the condition of humanity. We think we are carrying the lamp of awareness, but the lamp has already gone out and we continue walking in darkness. Ardra is a purifying nakshatra. Ardra is often feared, but in reality, Ardra Nakshatra is one of the most purifying nakshatras. Why? Because it takes you through suffering, and suffering awakens awareness. Suffering cracks the shell of ego. Without suffering, there would be no humility, no compassion, no depth. Suffering has a noble purpose, the evolution of consciousness. Ardra is deeply connected with Lord Shiva. It is said that Ardra represents the moment when Lord Shiva opened his eyes after long penance and a tear fell upon the earth. That tear became Ardra, a tear of cosmic compassion. That is why Ardra natives often feel naturally drawn toward Lord Shiva. And now I will discuss the four padas of Ardra Nakshatra. When the moon falls in the first pada of Ardra, the Gemini influence becomes extremely strong. Such a native becomes very talkative, curious, and mentally active. These people enjoy debates, arguments, and discussions. They do well in journalism, media, writing, or research. They are always asking questions and seeking answers. When the moon moves into the second pada of Ardra, ambition becomes stronger. Such natives become extremely career oriented. They want success, they want recognition, they want influence. If their horoscope supports it, they may rise to high professional positions. When the moon falls in the third pada, the emotional intensity increases. Relationships become dramatic. These natives may experience emotional ups and downs, but these experiences eventually make them wiser and more compassionate. When the moon enters the fourth pada, the spiritual dimension begins to emerge. After many struggles and experiences, the native slowly begins to turn inward. Meditation, philosophy, and spiritual understanding begin to attract them. This is where Ardra begins transforming into Punarvasu, the nakshatra of renewal. Since Ardra is ruled by Rahu, the Ishta Devata is Lord Shiva for Ardra natives. Shiva represents destruction, but destruction is not negative. Through destruction, a new beginning emerges, just like a phoenix bird rising from the ashes. The most powerful mantra for Ardra natives is Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Chant this mantra daily with devotion. It purifies the restless mind of Rahu. It calms the storm within. To balance Rahu and strengthen Ardra energy, donate black sesame seeds, donate blankets or clothes to the poor, offer food to homeless people, support education for underprivileged children, offer water or milk to Shivalingam on every Monday. Feed stray dogs or birds. Such acts reduce the negative effects of Rahu and attract the blessings of Lord Shiva. And so, Ardra is not unlucky. Ardra is a storm that cleans the sky. It breaks illusions. It awakens awareness. It purifies the soul So if your moon is in Ardra, remember your path is the path of transformation. Turn inward, meditate, chant daily, and let the storm become your teacher. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Sri Ganesha. Jai Guru.
ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः।